voice. Whoop.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't forget to unmute us this time.
Yo.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm 100% certain. I can see the bars moving.
Yeah.
Now
It's
we're
funny
just
because I actually have the sound unmuted on Twitch to make sure that you didn't do it.
nice. Thank you. Now we're just waiting on our DM because internet's a bitch. So in the meantime, you get to enjoy the beautiful new art for the board. It's
Yeah.
fucking gorgeous.
It was dope.
She always goes
Immediately
a
go to a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She always goes above and beyond for the lobby. It's so good.
Yeah.
I need to do the same for the Rune Lords campaign. Need to figure out how to do that. Cool. Alright, we'll go into a break, I guess, because Ollie's gonna be a while. Woo! Interlude. And we're back. Let's go.
Woohoo.
We are
Alright,
unmuted.
Alright. Last session. We started, as you guys were once again traveling to Waterdeep. But this time, as you guys were rounding a corner, the caravan pulled to a stop, and you guys encountered a halfling man buried in the road with the word Oathbreaker painted on his forehead. And you all make a plan to dig him out, probably question him until Zira sees who this person is, and recognizes him as Haram Jarub, a harper, who Gira quote unquote grew up with in his new home. And so as you guys get him out, Gira takes responsibility for him and brings him to the back of the caravan to speak with him. And there, Haram explains that he was doing quite a similar thing to you guys. He was following a caravan with people he suspected to be cultists. And he tells Gira that he thinks they caught on to the fact that he's a harper and following them. When he exchanged information with another harper at a rest stop, and thereafter they made up a story about him getting married and then not getting married, and then they buried him in the road to death. So Gira speaks with Bade, who a little begrudgingly agrees to let Haram stay on the caravan as long as no trouble is caused, and if trouble is caused at the hands of Haram, Gira will be responsible. Gira also gives Haram his rapier and dagger, which is notable because some time passes, you guys are still traveling, and you're ambushed by a large group of spiders and ettercaps who go to try and steal some of the horses off of one of the wagons. But you all are able to, with relative ease, take them out, not before being webbed to the ground a few times. And it was after that that we ended session. As you picked up some carcasses, Alba and Haskell practicing. At that same time, which most of the party didn't catch, Alba did cast Identify on Haskell's mask, and there is a handout if you want to go look. And then we'll move on. Gira,
Yes.
give me an insight check if you would.
Insight. All right.
Insight.
Have not opened my character sheet yet. All right.
No worries.
It's a 22's alright.
Gira. Yeah. You commented yourself and were made aware yourself at the beginning of this journey that you were on the same caravan as someone you recognized, notably Zafira, a cultist who you spoke with back in the Raiders camp. You, for most of this journey, have kept your head down, and it doesn't seem like anybody's caught on until probably a few days ago. You start catching Zafira watching you suspiciously, and you can tell that she sort of has an eye on you, a lot of the time. Almost as if she's noting who you talk to or your habits. And over the course of the past few days, it's starting to become obvious she might have recognized you back.
Gotcha. Well, once I realized that she started to recognize me, I would stop spending time with the rest of the party.
Give up the cold shoulder.
Heartbroken.
I mean,
I imagine like
theoretically, depending on how long she'd been watching you before you noticed, right? It'd be even more
Mhm.
suspicious if she noticed that you noticed to immediately cut ties with us.
Well, I wouldn't like. It wouldn't be like just. I do not talk to them ever. It'd just be only when necessary that I talk to you guys. I wouldn't come over and hang
Mhm.
out with you guys, pretty much. Which I mean, Gira probably wouldn't like do frequently, anyways.
I think it's likely that it goes from you're not interacting with people, but like maybe like at night or in the afternoon, Z goes like, "Hey, Gira, do you want a piece of bacon with your dinner?" To like he doesn't just gives him the cold shoulder and just walks away. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck happened? What did I do?
Z becomes immediately insecure.
Oh, did I fuck up? Did I offend him when we were getting his friend out of the dirt? Oh man.
But I mean, yeah. I don't know if you choose to do anything else with information, but you have it.
I mean, at night I would probably tell them that I feel like she's onto me, since
Mhm.
I'm invisible in the darkness. So she can't, no matter how hard she tries, she can't know what what I'm doing. Unless, I mean, that's the invisibility or something. But
I mean, moonlight.
I'm saying, like, when I would be invisible, I would come tell you guys stealthily.
Mhm.
Hey, I think
On a
they're on.
rainy night.
Yeah.
A few days later, and Z is no longer self-conscious.
Yeah.
Okay. I dropped rice. 1 second. There's so much rice in my lap. Okay.
Tonight's
Okay.
one of those nights.
It really is. I mean, yeah. You continue on your journey. And it's the 51st day of your journey. When you all stop in a small hamlet for the night. It's about half a day's ride south of Daggerford. It's called Gillian's Hill. And the caravan stops there for the night. Kira, give me a perception check.
All right. So this week's session is focused around Gira.
Tell us what your elf is.
You don't notice anything weird. You guys stop in like the one inn in town, and are able to get rooms. They are joint rooms. So it's probably Gira and your fellow wagon members and harem, unless you would want to go stay with the party. But based on what you said before, I don't think you
I'd
do.
be fine with the caravan.
Yeah. And eventually, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like because each of at least in terms of Heskel and I, we've been hired by the caravan as guards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I too would go
Yeah.
out of my way to make sure that we end up in the same room as the rest of the caravan, just because we're sort of keeping appearances.
Mm-hmm.
Once Oh,
Yeah.
I just realized, like, with how eclectic our party is, it's hard to be like, oh yeah, all of the strange people are totally like related to each other, because it's just like, no, there's no way the lizard is associating with like that guy.
The one time it works to our advantage.
Yeah. When it's so
There's no way that many
unlikely.
weird people are friends.
Um, 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Boop. Boop. Beep. 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 Gira, eventually you trance in the night. You wake up in the night to Harem very loudly talking. You probably got the bed right next to him, since he is your friend. And you hear him. He's like half shouting. It's probably the middle of the night still. And there's chances that whoever's in the room next to you can also hear him. But as you open your eyes, you see the doors open and light is coming in, and you see Zafira. And you hear and see now Harem sitting up in bed, and he's talking very loudly at her, and it's basically like, "What are you doing in our room?" And she looks startled that he woke up or was awake to her. But this is the scene you wake up to.
Oh jeez.
And you can see your fellow wagon members are slowly shifting. It appears shifting awake.
Time to commit a murder.
I mean, my immediate thought is to just put arrows in her. I mean, she creeping into my room. I don't know.
I mean, if Gira wouldn't do anything now.
I guess Gira would probably, notice somebody opening the door and Harem being loud about why they're entering. He would immediately like roll off the bed, grab his bow, and knock an arrow and point it at whoever it is. And I would be doing my best to also use my weapon and outstretched arm to kind of block my face a bit. Because obviously I'm no longer wearing like my mask and stuff because I was sleeping. So.
Yeah, the door opens, and some of the light from the hallway hits you a little. Because I assume are you intending to be seen? Like, this is a threat?
I mean, Gira's thinking it's a threat, so he's going to be hiding pretty much.
Okay, cool. I'd say give me a stealth check. I don't think it matters. Do you have a high stealth?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I literally can't see you. And yeah, the door opens the rest of the way, and Harem keeps talking at her. And after a little while, she's like glancing around the room, probably for you. And she like interrupts him. And she says, "I was just looking for that friend of yours. I had something to speak with him about. Do you know where he is?" Harem looks at the bed next to him and obviously doesn't see you. And then back at her. And he says, does not wait until the morning. It's probably like 2 a.m. And she like blinks a few times and looks around again. And looks like she doesn't have an answer for that one. um, and finally says, "It's urgent." And he just kind of like scoffs. And he says, "Well, he's obviously not in the bed next to me. Maybe he went out to take a piss." And she just like looks at him, and nods very slowly, and looks around the room and looks at the two other members of your wagon who have at this point woken up and are looking at her like blearily. And you can tell Lita, the woman, the other guard, looks like she's ready to get up. And she just nods again and like smiles a smile without her eyes. And she says, "Well, thanks. I'll speak with him another time." And closes the door. And as darkness falls again, there's a moment of quiet, and then you hear and see, because you have dark vision, Harem look around and very quietly this time goes, "Gira?" Obviously, he cannot see you either.
Yeah. Because I like messing with him, I lean in real close to his ear. Be like, yes.
He jumps. I think that goes without saying. I like puts a hand to his chest. And he says, "Oh, what the fuck? Okay. Did you have something to speak with that woman about, or was she just creepy?"
Giro will look over to the other side of the room and see if they are still awake or if they've kind of gone back to sleep.
They're still awake. It's only been a few moments since the door closed. But they're like looking over towards Harem. And you see, what's his face? Acrony. The wagon leader. It looks like he's done and goes to like roll backward, but Lita is still watching curiously.
I mean, I personally don't have anything to talk to her about, but it seems that she would like my attention, so I may climb out the window, and I don't want to make you a liar or anything. I'll just meet her on coming into the tavern or something.
he laughs a little, and he says, "Yeah, okay. Don't get assassinated down there. But okay, have fun.
Will do." Yeah, I'm actually gonna hop out the window and
stay awake for you."
I would very much appreciate that.
This guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna change my appearance slightly. Just kind of like a general mix-up of my face and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Just be like, well, maybe this isn't the person I thought he was, kind of thing.
Yeah. You jump out the window. And round the front tavern, go inside the front doors. It didn't seem like Saphira is walking out as you walked in. But as you do walk in and look around, it's pretty dead. But you see a few of them, a corner, including Zafira, who's standing. There's 3 of them in total, who's like standing over the table, and has her like hands down on the table, and it looks like she's speaking with them in like a very hushed tone. And assuming you intend to be spotted, yeah. There's nobody else walking. Whatever. the doors open, you see they all glance over, and she clearly notices you, and like goes to like pull back from the table, and it looks like she wants you to walk over towards her.
I mean, I would look at her and stand there patiently and wait for her to come to me. Preferably as far
You
away from
stare
her
each
allies as
other
I can possibly get her.
down. You stare each other down for a few minutes. No, after a few moments, as it becomes clear you're not moving, she glances over towards the two other people, and starts approaching, and gives you a smile. It's a little friendlier than the one she gave Harem like a minute or two ago. And she says, what does she say?
To know, I probably would have put like my entire like cowl mask thing back up, and then once she approaches, I'll probably like pull it down to reveal not my face.
Okay. Let me. Have you been wearing the mask this entire time? Always?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want her to recognize me. Probably even when sleeping out in the open. Like the tavern, she probably relaxed.
What's yours? Yeah. What's your spell save DC? Because she does technically get to save against it.
It's a 13.
Suspects anything?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
It's not high, unfortunately.
Investigator, they can go for spell save.
It's okay. It's okay. She does. She rolled a natural one. Yeah, as she approaches, and you pull your mask down, she pauses, and squints her eyes at you, before like glancing back at the other cultists who are watching her expectantly. Logan looks at you and gives you this smile again, and she says, "Oh, Gira, funny seeing you here. I was just, I thought I recognized you from somewhere, but I suppose I didn't. I wanted to talk to you about it. Sorry for the delay. You must be tired."
No problem. I like to make random rounds throughout the night to make sure that nothing's happening.
She nods. And you can give me an insight check. But at this point, we'll kind of like nod her head and say, well, have a good night then. And you can tell that she turns around to face the other cultist. You catch her face as she turns, and she looks a little embarrassed as she moves back towards that table. You're free to continue back upstairs.
Have a good night. Walk upstairs.
Yeah, and you go back upstairs. At this point, it seems like Lita might have also tried to go back to sleep. Harem's still sitting upright, and as the door opens, and sees you've not been assassinated, you probably exchange a few words before he also goes back to bed. And unless there's anything else Kira wants to do, excuse me.
But he will be sleeping with his mask on from now on. Period.
Then morning will arrive, and here in Gillian's Hill, that one caravan who Bade said he would kick out gets kicked out. They are here. They have to stay here, or they have to leave, but not with you guys.
Ollie, can you?
It's. Go ahead.
Can you move us to the map with the members of the caravan?
Sure can.
Thank you.
What?
It helps me keep track of who's where.
Yep. Sounds good.
I forgot I put losers on.
Yeah.
Get got.
I can put harem in here too.
Yo,
Yeah.
we got a harem.
CD.
It's Gira's harem.
Yeah.
Oh god. Roll 20. Roll 20 loading. Roll 20 fly.
Also, I'd probably talk to
There you
Acrony and Lita and see if they would be willing to hire harem. Like, I mean, he's pretty good with weapons. So.
As a guard for the rest of the trip, they would, or Acrony in particular, because he's the one in charge here. I mean, he would be willing. Like Harem would obviously have to like prove himself. And he won't get paid much at this point because it's only another, from when he was found. Only another like 20 days to Waterdeep. But they'd probably be willing. After you leave in the morning, it's half a day's ride until you get to Daggerford, which the caravan also makes a brief stop in. It's noon, so you don't really have the night to stay there. But a much larger town than Gillian's Hill was, so you're much more likely if people need to stock up supplies. You're much more likely to be able to do so there. Alba, give me a perception check.
Okay. Okay.
Would Haskell go into town, or would Haskell stay behind?
He'll stay behind.
Okay. I suppose technically anyone else who would want to go into town could also make a perception check. Alba, you are tasked specifically to go with Sammerdag in. He asked for your company.
Sure. Okay.
To go into Square. You don't have to buy anything. But you go with him. It's a nice town. But otherwise you would later return with the wagon. And and start for. It is in Daggerford when your guys' caravan gains 2 new members. They hop a ride with the 2 random the wagons. I can talk. 2 random wagons and not get on with you guys. One of them, and I can drop her token.
They gonna be standing over here?
They're
Please.
currently down bottom.
Lame.
What? I love the fucking hat. What the fuck? I know.
That's great.
10 out of 10 hat.
Trying to be is a is a gnomish woman, who probably catches a ride with the elf siblings. Ooh, it worked. Finally. Probably a ride with the elf siblings, considering they have
A lot more room than everyone
2
else.
people in there, and usually one of them is currently. Yeah, and one of them is also
boy.
currently helping Losvius's old wagon by steering. Oh boy. Am I
Yeah.
dying?
Yeah, your
For a
internet is
little
doing the super big delay again.
Ow.
We can, it's not breaking
No.
up, but we can tell that there's a big delay.
Oh, this is so sad. Aww. Why?
that way. It's okay.
It's okay. We can keep going.
That's so sad. Okay. It seems like the delay in and out, cause you guys sometimes respond to me on time. Whew. But yeah, she joins in the caravan alongside a man who at least Kira will probably recognize because he made a very poignant note to observe this man.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Is a is a man who in the middle of summer is wearing a wool hat, like the kind with the flaps that go over the ears, and he is Cyan. And Gira again made a very specific note to observe this man and called out this man. This is the person who was in the raiders camp with Resmir, the assumed red wizard.
Shit.
This guy.
Okay.
Oh, this weird.
Oh, great.
Oof.
No. I finally just came to like the full realization that when Haskell saw Green Lady, he was just like, oh, she was buried in green stuff and that's why she's green.
Yep, checks out.
Makes sense. And these 2 people join you in Daggerford. And you then head out. Yawn.
Alright, so I'm gonna do my best to stay away from Harem for the
Okay.
just because Gira's in his mind he's thinking, if this is somebody from the previous caravan that had buried Harem in the dirt, and then if they see me interacting with him all friendly, then they're going to assume that I am also like they're just gonna blow my cover.
Yeah. I get you. Cool. Yeah, you separate yourself from your good friend Harem for a little while. Poor guy. But if you were to exchange a few words to explain what's going on, he would fully understand. You would also be able to ask if he was just in the caravan with him, if you wanted to.
Yeah, if I can get a place that's secluded away from all of the cultists, then I would probably ask you.
Yeah. I mean, if you asked him, recognize that dying man, it would be a no.
Good. Kind of makes sense because they're. I mean,
He also wouldn't recognize the gnomish woman. So unless he's just that dumb.
Yeah, I'll just business as usual. Mostly.
Everybody now. Give me. Okay. Everybody, give me insight checks.
Low roll feels bad. Hey, there it is.
Am I dead? I might be. I'm just really, really badly delayed. Wait. Wait. If this helps for a moment. Oh no.
It's better.
Yeah. It was very bad.
I straight up couldn't hear it, the last bit that you said.
Oh no. Good. Was asking for insight checks from everybody.
Huzzah!
Cool. Gira and Haskell, you don't notice anything. Or no, not Gira. Eli and Haskell, you don't notice anything. Gira, you notice. This is the day after after Daggerford, after leaving Daggerford. You notice the gnome is showing an interest in you guys, like your group specifically. She has spoken to several of you, asking innocuous questions, commenting on the weather, leaving the impression of being someone who takes in every detail about the people around her. Alba and Z, you notice that she shows an interest in as
sorry?
aren't as the red wizard.
Right.
They're together, but during stops, you notice that she often sidles up near enough to overhear anything he might say, and has been spotted hovering near cult wagons when they're busy with tasks, other than guarding the wagons closely. And you get the impression that she's aware that you guys have noticed her being aware.
She seems to also be like some kind, she doesn't seem to be working with them. It's more like she's spying on them sort of feeling.
Yeah, that's
okay.
That's the best way to put it.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, That is the information you learn. You would also probably learn her name in this time. Be Jamna Gleam Silver. I'll make it available.
It's her real name.
That is one hell of a name.
But, yeah, it is. But again, like I said before, that's the information you. Whether or not you choose to do anything with it, let me know. If not, we'll carry on. I'm
debating whether I want to. Give me a second, because I'm trying to figure out how I want to approach this. But Z would definitely towards the afternoon of that second day. Since I imagine it's by then that I'm sort of picking up on all the little cues and clues that Gemna is some sort of spy, or at least not a co-worker of theirs. Yeah, I'll approach her and be like, "Hey, look, I know you're new around here. We've already had some problem with some less than desirable outcome. Somebody was murdered earlier in our journey here. I'll be honest, I'm not certain some of the people in the caravan were entirely clear of that. So try not to eavesdrop on other people's business too much. I wouldn't want you to get hurt.
And she gives you a relatively friendly smile. And she says, thank you, Z. Appreciate it. I'll make sure to keep an eye on my back and my stuff.
Alright. Good. See you around, Isabel. Stay safe.
And yeah.
With Z, you never know, because he tries to be friendly, and sometimes it comes across as a threat.
Yeah. Stick your nose where it doesn't belong, you may get it cut off.
Yeah. He's so pure, he doesn't understand that he might be misinterpreted as a threat.
Oh, Z.
Yeah, that was it.
Then I mean, yeah. Cool. It's you exchange these words with Jamna, and she accepts them, however way she does. And once again, there's a lot of this in this episode of the story. A few days pass. At this point, you are only 4 days travel from Waterdeep.
Oh, finally.
You're very close to Waterdeep.
Quick question.
Yes.
In the intervening days, after I had the chat with Gemna, did she keep eavesdropping on the people, or did it look like she took the advice to heart?
You would notice she wouldn't have really taken your advice.
Right. Yeah, I guess I'll leave it alone for a couple days and let us know when what you were about, what the next thing that is about to happen is.
Yeah. You are 4 days travel from Waterdeep at this point, and it's morning. You haven't even left your stop for the night yet. And you're eating like your morning meals. It's now you all are sitting together, and Gleam Silver, Jamna approaches you all, and she doesn't say anything to you at first. She kind of glances around, for who or what, you don't know, and then puts a finger to her lips at you guys, and bends down, and takes the bowl of oatmeal out of Elba's hands, like as you're like just about to start eating. She takes it out of your hands. And she pulls out a dagger, but does not at you guys. Instead, she starts poking through the oatmeal with her dagger. And after poking through it a few times, looking around, and she is quiet. She has not said a word. The gnome lifts it out, and shows you an oatmeal smeared object resembling a tiny bead on like the end of her dagger. And she glances over her shoulder, towards where the cultists have sat for their breakfast, and leans in a little further to you guys. And she whispers, "It's a sliver of bone, curled into a circle so you can swallow it in a mouthful of gruel without noticing. Once eaten, it slowly curls inside you, exposing needle points that pierce your guts and kill you slowly. I suspect they're in all your breakfast." And she gets up and hands the bowl of oatmeal back to you, Elba. And kind of like wipes her dagger off on her pants. She like turns to go walk away and then looks over her shoulder at you guys again. And without really giving any of you a chance to speak, says, "Let's talk this evening," and leaves.
Sort of looking her
Pascal,
direction.
fairly unperturbed because he eats bones anyways.
Wait, Haskell, do. Oh,
He basically just tips it into his mouth and swallows all of it.
Oh God. Well. Oh, that is. Oh,
Also,
okay.
no, I would not be sitting with everybody else because I'm trying to not.
Okay.
Just in case they figure out that I was using a disguise.
Uh-huh.
I imagine
So if I get
we're
a
sharing
message
sort of
about
A group communal.
a
breakfast.
communal table, but
Oh.
we're sort of on one end
Yeah.
of the communal table.
Gotcha.
So I wouldn't be surprised if like Orvustia and Eldkin were like on the same table, but at the opposite end of it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just like looking at my oatmeal, look back at the direction that she went in, look back at my oatmeal, mage hand inside of the oatmeal, trying to sort of, move it around, splashing it. It's like, where's the bone? Oh no.
Give me an investigation check.
Oh no.
Oh no. Wow.
You don't see anything. With your +6, you don't see it.
My +6 investigation gives me nothing.
Yeah. I mean, if Gira saw this happen, he would definitely like pretty much like stop eating his food and just like take out a trail ration instead.
See, we'll just
Yeah.
I'll just get up and like go to a corner. I don't know if it's likely that we're like we're inside having meal. Right? Yeah, because it's a rest stop. So yeah, I'll go to like out just outside, out the entrance, and just like dump my oatmeal outside. clean the bowl, come back in.
Tasty.
Delicious.
Also, Gira would do his best to find the thing in his and pocket it.
You can also give me an investigation check.
Poison my meal, I'm gonna poison yours. Damn it.
You also don't see anything. Not with a 6, you don't.
Damn. I just see like Lita looking over at me, and I'm just like moving my oats around with my hands, like, trying to find shit.
Like a monkey.
Return to monkey.
And then randomly taking a bite of a trail ration I have in the hand that I'm digging.
Just like the entire piece of jerky hanging from his mouth and like slowly, slowly
Picking
munching
through
on it,
the
as,
middle, yeah.
Sifting.
like a cigarette.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. Jamna won't approach you at all throughout the rest of the day. As you finish up breakfast, whether that means you eat it or you don't, or you're Eli.
If anyone in the group doesn't eat theirs, Pascal totally eats theirs.
I dumped mine, and I'll probably eat some of the rail rations. Rail rations? Trail rations. Look, my rations are trash. Okay, they're trashions. Oh. I'll eat some of my trail rations. Probably some like really fucking stale bread, softened with water. And we're setting off in a while, right? We were just stopping for breakfast and okay.
Yep.
All right. Once we set off again, and I have time to sort of fly over the sort of circling around the caravan, I'll message Gemna with the message spell.
Say.
Hey, about what happened this morning. Where and when?
You see from where you are, she like briefly like glances around in confusion. Maybe not used to getting message spells. But you will get a response back. You will get a response back. And she says,
Oh.
Dale? I think it's Dale.
Yeah,
What's me?
Just noise coming from your mic.
Oh, sorry, I was adjusting my microphone. Sorry.
Worries.
Place is on fire. But yeah, you were saying, Ollie.
She responds back, after everybody has bedded down, behind in the back of the caravan. You and all your friends.
Alright. See you then. And I'll essentially message everyone in the party, letting you guys know, hey, I just talked to Gemna. She wants to talk with us at the back of the caravan once we're done moving for the day, and everyone's sort of returning to sleep.
Gira would reply asking if we could wait until it's dark outside. For obvious
That
reasons.
should be after they all go to sleep, to be fair.
Yeah. If we're assuming that it's after dinner, then it should already be dark.
Yeah.
If it's not dark out, I'll make sure that we wait until. Yep. Aside from that, I'm willing to just business as usual. Try and keep a low profile for the rest of the day.
Okay. Yeah. business as usual. You go throughout your day of travel. You get ever more closer to Waterdeep. And eventually dinner will pass. People will start going to bed, and night will fall. And you all will, at least I assume everybody will, go to the back of the caravan. And sitting a good 20 feet back down the road, you see Jamna, like, sitting down on the side of the road. It doesn't look like she's doing anything, she's just waiting. And you all approach, and she notices all of you but Gira, for obvious reasons.
Haskell would have cast that just before going, because it's before sleepy time anyway, so we might as well use it if he still has it.
Okay,
Just in case
sounds good.
it's in the night.
Yeah. And as you all approach, she stands. And in case that some of you maybe haven't interacted with her before, she reintroduces herself. And as soon as she says, I'm Jamet Gleamsilver, she moves on very quickly, barely waiting for you guys to give your names back. And she says, listen, we don't work for the same people, but we're on the same side. We share a belief that the cult of the dragon must be stopped. I need to know what they're carrying in those wagons and where they're taking it. Will you help me find out?
Well, you seem to know, or think, know who we work for, so how about before we share information, you tell us who you work for?
She grimaces. And she says, I don't really know who you work for, but I know it's not the same people I work for. And I can't tell you who I work for.
I'll sort of look at my companions left and right. I mean, trust is a two-way street. I'm not willing to share information myself, not until you're willing to share your own information. I'll sort of look at. I can't even look at Gira because Gira's goddamn invisible. I'll look over at Alba because, at least in Z's mind, she's the only other one who's gonna have a logical, civilized response to this.
Alba will say, well, she did, stop us from getting poisoned this morning.
Is he right?
I mean, Gero would be taking this time to kind of do a very close inspection of the gnome lady, see if there's any symbols that I may recognize or what have you.
Let me double check on that, but you can give me a perception check.
Damn.
But yeah, Alba, as you say that, she would like nod appreciatively, and say, like I said, I can't tell you, but I think we can help each other.
So I wasn't able to find anything that would give me any kind of clues.
I'm double checking. Okay. Give me a second.
I was also waiting on that just so that I don't interrupt you once you
Yeah.
you find the.
Yeah.
And I'll say with a good perception check with a 25. Gira, as they're speaking, you're sort of just observing Jimna. And many factions throughout Faerun, like the Harpers, tend to wear inconspicuous markings that will tip other members of their organizations off. Actually, I didn't even look at her character art. Let me double check. Yeah, no, okay. And you would be able to recognize this with the 25. Let me double check. I know what their symbol is. She has a very small pin clipped onto her butt, like a silhouette of a dragon with like black and white colors, which to dealing with a cult of the dragon, having a dragon might would know what faction this would belong to. Otherwise, Robert, the person, the player, might know what this is. But it seems that is definitely a symbol of the Zentarum. If you know what that is.
Zentarum. Oh shit.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'm confident
The
all
Harpers don't like them.
Yeah, I'm confident all Harpers would know of them because they're it's a main faction that they are on opposite ends of on a frequent basis. So.
Yes.
Well, Gira are immediately no longer trust Gemna.
Yep.
And at this
but
point,
you guys do
Gira
not know
would
this.
Say,
to be fair.
Yeah.
Gira would immediately say out loud, pretty much over her shoulder at this point. You could have placed those there. We don't know that you were saved us from, or we're just trying to gain our trust.
And she jumps a little and looks over her shoulder at you. And she frowns towards you.
Looks at the darkness, yeah.
And she frowns. And she says, "You are technically correct, but how can you prove otherwise? I could have not killed you, and you could have died. But if you're not willing to share information with me, then I suppose we can go on our separate ways."
Gira will fall silent again, and then he'll change his position.
I'm more willing to trust Gira on this one. Sorry. Alba?
She shrugs.
Well, I unfortunately don't know this woman, so unless she has something to prove that she's trustworthy, I can't really. Agree. Though, more allies would be better.
Well, not if we want to keep a low profile.
She sort of looks between all of you again. And again shrugs a little. And she says, "Well, I'm going to be here until we get to Waterdeep. So if you all change your mind, then I'd be happy to try and exchange some information."
Pascal's just staring at her for the moment.
If she has information, I do think it's worth hearing her out.
We wouldn't lose anything by just hearing you out. Hearing her out. Oh. Well, I suppose we can hear you out, and if it makes sense, and sounds like you're trying, you might be a good and helpful ally. So you can think about returning the favor.
Jamna frowns immediately, and she says, I don't know if I want to give you my information without a guarantee I'll get your information. I can break into those wagons if I need to. I just wanted to make it easier on the both of us.
Alright. On my honor as a follower of Gond, if you give us information that is valuable to us, I will share what we know.
She nods. Oh my god, my cat is trying to eat my food. She nods. And she looks thoughtful for a moment. And she says, well, I have been following after that man who joined with me for the past handful of 10 days. He caught my attention as a Dian, clearly, despite that ridiculous hat, a red wizard of the. And I was able to, due to the circumstances at hand, also figure out he was working with the cult, who I and my people are don't want to come to power again, as it seems they're trying to do. And it was out of trying to figure out why a red wizard was chumming it up with the cult of the dragon members. Why do they need a red wizard on their side? They have never been allies, in case you're unaware. The cultists and the red wizards have always hated each other. So now that they have teamed up, it brings a few questions. I want to stop wherever they're bringing all that stuff so that they can't do whatever they plan on doing. I haven't, until recently, been able to really overhear him speaking with his fellow cult members, but they seem very devoted to this Severin, who they speak of, in high praise. And they also talk about a dragon who is guarding their hoard. It seems that they speak of them as if they are in close proximity nearby, which is worrying. But I also don't think there's a dragon in Waterdeep, of all places. So I'm either going to stop them here or follow them to that dragon.
Have you been able to glean the age of this dragon?
She looks around again, and she says, the age, no. But they speak of it like it is very powerful and can cast magic. So, take that as you will.
Probably
That-
fully realized adult at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well,
Well.
go ahead, Alba.
You wanted to know what was in those wagons? Gold. Jewels, trinkets, things that they've stolen from the villages of the Greenfields. As to where they're going, we don't know exactly. I think we're pretty confident it's somewhere past Waterdeep, but we haven't got an exact location yet. We are following them.
Mm-hmm. She nods. And then she says, thank you. I had my suspicions, so I'm glad I don't need to risk breaking into their wagons now.
And if you happen to have any kind of plan to attack them, I would certainly join in.
She chuckles a little, and she says, no, not yet. Probably later. Hopefully later.
Especially the Zafira, as I've met her personally, so she's a risk that I would like to take care of at some point.
Out of character. You mentioned the Red Wizards as though they're a faction, which I as a player, I'm not aware of. So what if anything would Alpha know about them?
They're pretty well known throughout Faerun. You can give me a history check to see if you know anything specific, but I can.
God damn it!
I'll hop on that history check if you'll allow it. Hey, the duality of men.
Fucking classic.
Oh my god. I mean, yeah. But C, Alba, you would know the basics, and Z, you would know, for whatever reason, quite a bit about the Red Wizards. The Red Wizards hail from Thay, which is over 2,000 miles like east of the Sword Coast. Thay is known for being defended by armies of undead warriors and ruled by a lich.
Oh.
They are, like I said, very well known, and even easily recognized by their like crimson robes and the arcane sigils that they tattoo onto their shaved heads, which you get the feeling is why Asbara is wearing a wool cap. And in many lands, because of their evil reputation, they're often arrested or killed on the spot. And
I'm guessing that is.
You would maybe know in particular. Go ahead.
I was gonna say. I guess that's probably why Z knows a bit of them. Like part of the training at the Guard Academy was like, yeah, if you see someone with this type of description, just take them back to the dungeons.
And Gira would probably know most of this too. Because the Harpers hate these guys too.
Oh my god, the guards teach racial profiling.
Basically.
But yeah.
But the Thay, the Red Wizards, and the Cult of the Dragon have also been historically at odds with each other. They've never been known to really work together. So she pointed it out, like it is weird that they are interacting with each other now, because they've never liked each other for thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah, it is weird.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
unless there's, go ahead.
Yeah, I would be sort of maybe giving the rundown of that info to Albus, sort of like just in case
Mhm.
you haven't heard of them, or the Red Wizards. Hey, it is kind of weird that they are working together. I'll admit.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's been concerning this entire time for sure. That's why I told my superiors about it.
Mhm.
Also, that specifically would be hushed between our group, not so that she doesn't overhear that I'm the
Mhm.
contact.
Mhm.
But we'll ask Gemma, given you've heard more about their plans, do you have any idea what they could be intending to do with all of that gold?
I don't really. I know they are gathering a horde for a dragon. In the past, the cult raised Draco Liches, but for some reason, I don't think that's what they're doing anymore. Maybe, Talker. Um,
As long as it's not a giant bribe for one specific dragon, I'm hoping it isn't.
um, but no, I don't really know what they're doing. That's why I'm here. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here, and I'd be safer in a different place.
Okay. Well, if you hear anything else, I suppose we can keep each other updated.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely find that acceptable.
All right.
Well,
All right. Yeah.
I suppose.
Gira would hold everybody back and wait for Gemna to leave.
All right.
Yeah. She'll depart.
All right. I mean, to note, the reason why I immediately don't trust her is because she's from the Zentarum. The
And what
rival
is
faction
that?
to the Harpers, pretty much. It's an evil faction following the clerics of Bane and or the gods, dark gods Bane and Cyric.
Oh.
They're usually like thieves, assassins kind of people.
All right.
Harpers have been at odds with them for thousands of years.
Got it.
Pretty much ever since the founding, they've just been against each other on a regular basis. But
For a good reason.
they're not wrong. Yeah, they're not. Also, she was not wrong in that the Red Wizards have not shown any kind of interest in the Cult of the Dragon recently, so I don't like that they're teaming up.
Got it. Okay. The enemy of our enemy, our ally in this case.
Yeah. And I'll use what I'm given. So.
As soon as we can, though, I would prefer we cut ties off with her. She is a follower
Yeah.
of those kinds of gods. Okay. Any plans that we should keep on mind of the next couple days, guys? No?
On top of my head.
No,
I don't think there's anything we need to change.
Alright. Well, we're almost to.
Be wary of the wizard, obviously.
Yeah. But we're almost to water deep, so
Also, if we assume that she didn't spike our food, they are onto us.
Yeah.
Or at least they're looking to get rid of us.
Yeah. Let's keep our heads down, keep a low profile. Don't eat any of the food that might have been tampered with. If you hadn't kept an eye on it, don't eat it. If you need help at all, I'll be doing some messaging around during the day. Probably try to hit each of you at least once an hour to make sure that everyone's doing okay.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Well, try to get some sleep. Shouldn't be too long until we get to Water's Deep.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, and with that, I'll start heading back towards the caravan.
Cool.
I was going to specifically, essentially keep watch for 2 hours for himself.
Okay.
He was just told, oh yeah, she's probably maybe an assassin.
Yeah. You stay up for another 2 hours. There's no sign of Jam. The room's over. And you wake up the next morning. You're all alive. And you'll continue on your journey. 2 days later, you guys wake up to yelling outside the caravan, or outside your respective sleeping spots. And as you all get out of your sleeping spots and go to investigate, you see nearby one of the cult wagons is let me go back to this page because I'm out of this. Outside one of the cult wagons, face down on the ground, one of the cultists is dead. Particularly this one.
No, not Johnny, not Nicolas Cage. No.
And you see his two companions are shouting at Bade, who is trying to doing his best to calm them down a little. And as everybody slowly starts to wake up and a small crowd starts to form, you hear you hear the one who Z you spoke with briefly that one time, Domara, looks around at the group of people, and looks at you, Haskell, and you still carry your rapier, right?
Nope, he gave it away at the town.
You gave it away. Okay. And then will instead look at Harem, who has Gira's rapier. And she gestures out towards him, and says, "It could be anyone here. He carries a rapier." And Bade is kind of holding his hands up in a oh, calm down, we can figure this out kind of gesture. And glances towards Harem, and unfortunately for Harem, there are definitely several members of the caravan who still don't really trust him. But he kind of chuckles, and he puts his hands up, says, "I can't tell you with proof it wasn't me, because I don't have proof I wasn't up unless somebody was awake, but it wasn't me." And you hear them start arguing again. And then Damara turns and looks at you, Gira. And she kind of glowers at you. And she says, "Isn't he responsible for the halfling man? his fault.
Yeah, that's-
And you hear Bade
That's how
go
I know
like,
that Harem. That's how I know Harem
Go
wasn't
ahead.
there. As an elf, I definitely sleep less than everybody else here, and he was asleep the entire time. Assuming that Gear would know. I mean,
As an elf, I sleep less. Oh,
Mhm.
I incriminated myself, didn't I?
no, I don't. I mean, potentially yes, but also there's no reason that either of us would want that person dead. If anything,
uh-huh.
I mean, me personally, I've been doing my best to keep everybody alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You hear like murmuring from the people like standing around looking at the incident. And you hear Bade being like, "Slow down. We'll talk about this." But it seems like they don't want to slow down.
Does it seem like
And
they're agitated enough that they like might want to pick out arms, kind of thing?
not
By the way,
quite.
back. Like, what's to say that you didn't do it? Maybe they offended you in some way, and you just knocked them out because you were sick of their shit.
She looks at you again, and glowers, and she says, Barcel was my friend, and I am offended that you would accuse me of that. Who's to say it wasn't you? And kind of like takes a step towards you and like lifts her chin up a little. And to answer your question, Bosan, it doesn't seem like they're gonna pull out arms, but they're aggressive.
Yeah. Alright. As things seem to be escalating, maybe not necessarily straight out escalating, but it seems like they're not de-escalating. I'll fly up so that I'm hovering above them, and hold up a flame in each hand, and go.
Oh my
All right,
God.
calm down, or this is not gonna look good for you.
Are these the de-escalation tactics they teach in the guard?
Yeah.
I'll point out
Tell
that
them to put down their weapons. Easy.
yeah, I'll point out that the guards never went are trained by adventurers instead of other guards.
Yeah.
So yes.
Give me an
Intimidate?
intimidation check. You'll have advantage.
Sure. Let's go.
They have advantage. They've seen you. Pull
Ooh!
off.
They've seen
Yeah.
what I can do with a fireball, so.
Yeah, you Domara kind of like takes a step back away from Gira, and looks up at you, and you definitely hear some of the members of the caravan also like going like, is he gonna is he actually but after a few moments, like it'll fall quiet for a few moments, and then Eldkin will step forward, and she'll like look at Damara, and she'll say, I don't know what you're on about, but Gira here, and she kind of like reaches up, and puts a strong hand, like pats your shoulder, has saved most of our lives on several occasions. I don't know if you can say the same. She kind of like scowls a little, but doesn't say anything.
Alright. Look. Alright? Everyone calm down. Go back to your own wagons for a moment. And
Just kind
as
of
I'm
glances back up towards the. Mhm.
I'll start flying down and sort of land as I'm saying this. Let me look into what's going on. Let me check the body first. I'll make sure that nobody's going into anyone else's wagons. We don't have any more troubles. We're about to reach Waterdeep. We can do a full investigation once we're there. And delegate it to the guards. All right. Now, just inspect the body. Everyone, go back to your wagons.
Yeah, people kind of like, once again, exchange words amongst each other, and the crowd slowly starts to disperse. And the cultists who were arguing with Fate, kind of begrudgingly take steps back and stand next to their own wagon. Z, you and whoever else wants to, can approach the body. Like I said, he is face down in the dirt. And as you inspect his body, he has a stab wound through his like stomach. One second.
Your mic was making like a fan, like something rubbing up like against a fan kind of noise or something.
Yeah.
Possibly purring of a pet.
Maybe.
Wait, what? Why was it be?
I know, it sounded
weird.
You're in a,
It's
like
on. As soon as you spoke, it stopped.
Yeah.
Oh, does this thing have a...
Yeah.
Hang on.
We can hear that, yes.
But yeah.
You were saying
You
that,
inspect the body. He has a stab wound through his like stomach. It's big enough to likely be like a short sword or any other kind of blade of a similar size wound. But otherwise there doesn't seem to be many traces.
So the rapier was a completely wrong guess, is what I'm hearing.
Trust me, if it's a rapier stab wound, you wouldn't even be able to see it.
Yes.
See the blood.
Yeah.
Like getting stabbed by a rapier is the equivalent of getting stabbed by a knitting needle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of very narrow.
Kinda.
Yeah. It's about that. That's the width. Like it's the width of a pinky finger, sort of thing. In any case,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. All right. And like everyone is everyone sort of starting to disperse, or are people still looking at?
Yeah. There are some people kind of lingering, but a lot of them are dispersed.
Okay. Like from the looks of it, it might not even have been a rapier. Looks more like a dagger or a short sword kind of weapon. A thick blade. In any case, I think about everyone but two or maybe three of us are not carrying some kind of weapon that might have done this, so... was the last... I'm sort of walking closer to Damara at this point. When's the last time you saw your companion?
He was standing guard last night over our stuff.
Right? That doesn't really answer my question. Was it before you went to sleep?
Before I went to bed.
All
yes.
Right. Okay. Well, do you know who else was going to be standing guard last night?
Over our stuff?
Maybe you saw anyone else for any of the other wagons starting guard? Don't worry if you haven't. I'll just ask everyone around.
I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure the people with valuable things also keep kept a guard last night, but I wasn't paying too much attention.
Alright, that's completely fine. Alright. I'll keep you updated on any kind of discoveries that I make, but please try and not cause more chaos. The last thing we want is for somebody else to get hurt. Alright? And this is like Z going full into guard mode.
Yeah, she nods begrudgingly.
Right. I'm gonna go check with Lowells. They might have seen something, or just breaking out of trance. And I'll nod and start heading back towards the elven wagon. I can talk to them.
Yeah. The elves. You speak. Is there anything in particular you're looking to ask them, or are you just going around to all the caravans, being like, who was standing guard last night, if anybody?
Yeah, I mean, what I'm trying to do is essentially establish that there were other people who were out and about, which wouldn't include harem, and essentially not necessarily give him an alibi, but at the very least, create a situation, or not create, but like establish that the situation would make it near impossible for harem to elude everyone else's guard and also murder somebody in the middle of the night and then go back.
Yeah.
But maybe, since Gemina is staying with the Lowells might have heard or seen something, because I have very heavy suspicions that the assassin god worshipper might be an assassin themselves.
Possibly. There's a chance.
What? I mean, yeah. Go ahead.
So probably the way that I'm approaching it is, hey, look, were either of you awake last night? Maybe in turns for trancing, or anything? Did you know who was outside? And then right before I leave, I go like, oh, and by any chance, did Gemina wake up in the middle of the night or come in or out? Because she was with us until kind of late talking. I don't know if she woke you up when you came back.
Yeah, they would, to establish with you, they're elves, they trance. So, I mean, they can, like, keep watch, even though they don't really have to for what they load. They can keep watch just, like, casually. And I will specify, I can't tell if this is you just trying to be like, oh, she was talking to us last night. But this is a few days after your conversation.
But like I assume that everyone sort of at night, after we all sort of have dinner, or share meals with different people of different wagons. So it might be like, even though it's not necessarily the truth, it might have happened that after dinner we had a moment where it's like, oh yeah, nice weather. How's the road treating you, sort of thing.
Let me.
I can roll a
do
deception.
something. Retroactively.
Oh, come on. Gira wouldn't be so stupid as to leave an obvious wound that would lead directly to him.
Yeah.
He would have likely taken the guy's own weapon and stabbed him in the wound that he had initially created with his weapon. And then taken that out and then left it aside. So it was as if somebody had come up and killed him with his own weapon.
They would say they didn't see Gemma coming in or out, and they didn't really see anybody approaching that wagon in particular. But if you were to go around to the other wagons, you'd get probably much of the same answer.
Okay.
They didn't really see anybody. A few of them would probably have been able to say, like, I didn't see Harem in particular. We were right next door, and Lita was keeping guard last night. But
Yeah.
yeah.
It sort of
Yeah.
reinforces the narrative that it couldn't have been Harem. Yep.
Well, she's very stealthy.
Yeah. I'll sort of take about an hour to do the rounds, and then I'll have a quick chat with Bait so that we can get the caravan moving again. Because I'm guessing like the caravan stopped because of it didn't start because it happened in the morning.
Yeah.
Because of this.
Yeah.
We should get to Waterdeep as soon as possible before any kind of other misfortune occurs.
Yep. Then, yeah. Upon sort of calming down the cultists, you now have 2 dead bodies on your hands, and not on your hands, but in this caravan's hand.
Shit, I can't wait to start actual bodies from our hands.
It would. Let me double check the timing on this. You guys went faster than I expected, because you skipped something I was expecting you to do. Yeah. It would be then 2 more days of travel. When that, like, probably early day, you see slowly rising from the shores of, like, the Sea of Swords, comes into view Waterdeep, the city of splendors and the crown of the north. And it is later that day, on the 60th day of travel. You guys were on this road for 2 whole months. That the caravan would reach the city gates. You would be let through and stop inside, and see. You would I don't know what Z in particular plans to do. Because I know you talked about wanting to get the guards.
Yeah. Duty calls first. Yeah, first thing that I'm doing as soon as we set foot inside the city is get off the wagon and go. Thank Mistra, we're back in Neverember territory. Yes. Okay. Go to the guards and talk to them. Yeah, and I'll see about getting the bodies off of the caravan. You know. I'll probably end up being just let everyone know that, hey guys, I'm probably gonna be occupied for the next 4 to maybe probably around 4 hours just writing papers and getting the investigation set up so that we don't have any trouble. I'm gonna need to talk to the guards, so I'll see you when I see you. Find the closest inn possible, and then I'll go about sorting that stuff out.
Okay. Yeah, then also then yeah, you exchange these words with your party. And you guys would be paid in the last of your pay for your duties as guards. I can re-establish how much you're getting paid if you forgot. It's somewhere in here.
If I remember correctly, I think I was getting 6 a day, so it's what, 360?
Yes. Well, what? It was per 10 day.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. I have it down as this. I'll just paste it in Discord. This is what I have down. Because Gira got a little more for being cool.
For being cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll get paid the last of your pay. And several of your employers and other people in the caravan will start to unload a little at this rest stop. Some of them just start making their way through the city, including the cultists. And as you stand around for a few moments and exchange these words with Z, you hear the city bustling around you. And you can hear like a paperboy nearby, like standing and waving a rolled up paper over his head. And he's like calling out towards you guys, like generally towards the large group of people that have just entered Waterdeep. What?
No, sorry, go ahead.
Okay. I see that, Robert, by the way. And you can hear him going, Laeral Silverhand back in Waterdeep. Read all about it. And you see like there's someone who like walks up to him and hands him something, and then takes a paper and continues walking. He resumes his chanting. And you see Jamna sort of lingering nearby, kind of glancing over at you all, alongside Harem, who Harem would say to you guys, well, if we need to meet Z back here, we should stick around for a while, but after I can bring you to some people I was working with, if you want. They might have a little input.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
He nods. Go ahead.
If it wasn't obvious, Gira would have told Harem about Gemna.
Yeah, I figure.
The events, so.
He wasn't keen on her, most likely. But yeah. I suppose. You got a nearby inn to find, or you guys could do other stuff in Waterdeep while you're here. Well, Z goes off to deal with the city guard.
I have a lot of shit.
Wait, did the cultists in the group that had the dead member stay behind, or did they just fucking dip?
They would have just dipped.
Oh.
Unless they were very specific stopped. And very quickly stopped.
I mean,
as if I saw Damara leave after Z had left to go get the guards, been like, well, I guess he wasn't that great of a friend if you're not going to stick around and talk to the guards.
She would ignore you.
I mainly said it for like any other members of our caravan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, yeah.
Helps solidify the idea about him shit talking them. Like, oh, maybe you finally got tired of his shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get ya. But I mean, yeah, she'd ignore you. There'd definitely be a few people who were in your caravan who kind of like look over And there's some murmuring, but at this point, it seems like most of you are to be on your separate ways, unless they are also going further north from Waterdeep very soon.
Just trying to clear my name mainly. So.
Yeah.
And Gira's just a killer, and by that I mean I'm trying to make sure that people don't know that he's a killer.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, my proposal still stands about not sure exactly what you want to do. There's a paperboard, there's an inn, there's other stuff. This is Waterdeep. It's very big. Here, wait, Waterdeep is so big. The scaling should be mostly correct if you want to measure Waterdeep.
Oh dear lord. Oh dear lord.
It is a
fucking God.
it is a 2-hour walk from one end of Waterdeep to the other end of Waterdeep.
I mean, if you go for the longest distance possible, it's a
Yeah.
goddamn journey.
To make it from the south to the north is almost 20,000 feet.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
It's 20,000 if you go in the diagonal, as the crow flies. If you go taking just the avenues to go from the northwestern end to the southeastern, it's 25,000 feet.
Jesus Christ. This place is huge.
It is very large.
Yep. Their cemetery, it's so large that it is called the City of the Dead, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Shit.
Yep.
Yep.
Also, you would see Gira super excited when he heard the shouter talking about
What about Lariel?
yeah, Lariel Silverhand. Is that what her name is? Something like that.
Yep.
Johnny Silver.
Would I know who that is?
Probably.
I'm pretty confident she's a world famous bard. I think.
Yeah, I mean, she's
Oh, the silver
I mean,
the
she's
silver
as well
hands
known
are
as
very
Blackstaff.
famous. Yeah. You could, I mean, I'd say give me a history check if you want specifics, but Lady Lariel Silverhand is very, very old. She's formerly one of the Seven Sisters. She is very famous. But you would also probably know that for a while she's kind of been like unheard of for a long time. Like she
Retired.
hasn't been prevalent at all. Like nobody's really known what she's been up to.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. I have guard duties to attend to, and then I do have another thing that I need to go do.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You could always buy the paper from him, but it'd be pretty easy to find it at this part of the city. This is where the caravans from the south come in.
Yeah, I'll probably buy a copy, just so that I can read later at the end.
Yeah, it's only
Sure,
one
definitely.
copper piece.
Ding.
Ding.
Flip him a coin.
Oh, thank you, kind sir.
Keep up the good work, Timmy.
And did you say Gira is also going to buy one?
Yep. And he would give him a copper and a gold piece, and wink at him as he walks away.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This little boy is so happy. You have made his week.
As an orphan, these are the usual jobs that we have to take.
my brother just came in. As he likes to do.
No worries.
But yeah. Yeah, you guys buy papers, you make this orphan boy so happy. And go find a nearby inn?
Yeah.
Question mark?
We're supposed to meet Z back at this gate, though, correct?
Yeah, I sort of suggested the idea that it's gonna take me a couple hours, probably close to 4.
Oh.
So you guys can go about, and we'll meet here in about 4 hours.
Uh-huh. I mean, you can go anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, Garrett would be like, yeah, let's go to an inn.
Yeah. You go find an inn to stay at. And Gira, you can read through the paper. It's basically like it's got like the headline like long thought dead Lady Mage of Waterdeep has returned. And it sort of like goes over exactly who Lady Lariel Silverhand is. Like she's returned to Waterdeep. She's been spotted in Waterdeep, and people have spoken with her. Once again, she's formerly one of the Seven Sisters, a chosen of Maastra, and it's a centuries-old wizard, and one of the most adept magic item creators in recorded history, and she hasn't been seen for a long time. And then it kind of goes into like speculations about what she's doing in Waterdeep. She's been spotted with the Merciless. There's a good chance none of you will know who that is in character.
Who's
And there's some people like, maybe she's here because she has detected a great source of magic in the Undermountain, or she has business with Lord Daggalt Neverember. And it kind of just devolves into like, what could she be doing here?
Isn't she like in a relationship with Blackstaff?
Really? Maybe.
I think so.
Silverhand and
maybe it's one of those celebrity gossip things, like the hottest tip on
Blackstaff.
I just imagine like
yeah.
high-level adventurers are a little bit of celebrities in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know they were partners, but they are partners. That's probably in there, because that guy is famous and is in Waterdeep.
Yeah. I was surprised when reading it. I was like, "Where?" I mean, maybe she's here to see her husband.
But also, I feel like it's not out of reality that a paper would be like,
well, yeah,
oh my
yeah.
god,
No,
maybe it's
would
not
definitely
just
be
her
rumors.
husband. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, still tabloid shit for sure, but
Yeah.
that's what Gary's thinking in his head. Like, what? Could she not just visit her husband? Jesus, you guys are ridiculous.
Can she not just sue her husband? But yeah, I suppose, is there anything you guys want to do while you wait for Z, or are you just gonna hang?
I mean, I guess if we have time, Giro would probably head with Harem to go meet his contact. If not, then we'll just wait for Z. And then all of us
check
go.
where that is in the city. You could. It's close enough by. It will be at the Yawning Portal. Hera will establish with you.
Yeah, let's wait for the whole party to go there.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah. You can wait for the whole party. Let's see, get back. You guys can go together to the most famous tavern ever. Is there anything else anyone else would want to do?
Well,
Take that as a no.
Not in city stuff, no.
Mhm.
I do have one thing
Yeah.
that I need to do aside from doing the guard stuff.
Yeah. I figure. I think you said that. I just figured I'd touch
Yeah,
base with
with
everyone
everyone
else
else.
and then move over to Z. But yeah, Z, you leave your companions and go and do stuff with the guards for a long time. You feel right at home, except just barely not right at home, because Neverwinter's a few hundred miles north. But afterwards, I mean, it'll go relatively smoothly. They'll handle it. You've probably met with the city guard, the watch before, because you worked in Neverwinter, and Daggalt Neverember is rules over both Neverwinter and Waterdeep.
Yeah, it's very likely that people that I worked with were transferred at some point to
Yeah.
Waterdeep.
Yeah, and vice versa.
Yeah. Once I'm done, sort of laying my witness records or and signing documents and whatnot, I'll ask for some help from one of the guards to see like if they can point me in the direction of the nearest, essentially what what it would be like the franchise, the nearest Crow Messenger franchise, the same type that I went to in Baldur's Gate because I need to check if a message came for me.
Yeah. Give me a second. I wrote stuff down. So I remember I asked you about this.
Because I specifically said I was heading north, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Send the message to Waterdeep if they weren't gonna, if the message was gonna take more than 10 days.
Yeah. I thought I wrote this down, but apparently I didn't. You had basically sent them like stay safe, I'm safe kind of message, right?
Yeah, it was a how are you doing? Is everything all right? Are you guys in one piece? I'm a little bit concerned about you, but I know that I'm doing great. I'm just adventuring. I'll be heading north soon. I think.
Yeah. You go. The guards would be able to point you in that direction. And it has been 2 months and 10 days since you were in Baldur's Gate. So there was plenty of time for a Raven to get to Neverwinter, and then from Neverwinter to Waterdeep. You go there and you address your name, and there would be a letter waiting for you. It would obviously be from your parents, and they'd hand over the letter, and you'd open it, and it would read along the lines of like, it's nice to hear from you, Azamet. It's been a while. We're doing all right. Business is running same as usual here in Neverwinter. Be happy to see you again if you get a chance to stop by in your journeys north. Happy to hear you're doing all right. Make sure you continue to stay safe. Did you tell them about why you left Neverwinter? Or were you just like, I'm going? Did you tell them about the dreams?
No, I didn't tell them about the dreams.
Okay.
I think it's fair to assume that they think I left because of my issue with the guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There'd probably be some like in good humor remark about how your old boss and your mother's still boss. Or is it your father? I believe it's
It's
your
my mother. My mother is a guard.
Yeah. Yeah. Your mother's still boss about he's still just as cranky as usual. But we miss you being here. But yeah, all in all, it seems like they're fine.
I think like while he's reading the letter, there's just like a deflated Z, like, oh god, tension leaving my body, just flopping, putting his back against the wall to support him. Once he's done, fold it up, put it in inside pocket of his jacket, and start heading towards the meeting point with a little bit more brisk to his pace. No triviality.
Cool. Then yeah, you head back to the southern gate, and the rest of the party would be able to meet you there. And I assume at this point, Harem, or whoever else who might know Waterdeep, which I don't know if any of you do, will start leading the way through. Yeah. Leading the way through the city. And eventually you'd get somewhere. It's a good walk because you get somewhere up here. I don't know exactly where, but it's in the castle. I could look it up. Later. And you would be led to the Yawning Portal. A very famous cavern, which I think everyone would know about.
I would hope so.
Even Eli might know about the Yawning Portal, and he hasn't been on this plane very long.
In character, maybe. Out of character, yeah, I would hope everybody knows at this point.
There's an entire book about the Yawning Portal. Several of them, in fact.
I own it.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's a book where you can just add extra adventures to whatever campaign you're in.
Yeah.
Tales of from the Yawning Portal.
Yeah. In case Dale doesn't know, because I know you're not very 5e savvy, the Yawning Portal is very famous. It's known for adventurers going there. Yeah, adventurers go there a lot, mostly because it has an entrance into the Undermountain, which is a famous adventuring spot in Waterdeep that eventually leads into the Underdark.
It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. You can go down there if you want.
Let's go try and rob stuff from Sanathar while we're here.
Hell yeah. I'm down.
I'll just run the Waterdeep, the entire Waterdeep adventure for you guys.
Oh god.
But yeah, he'd lead you to the Yawning Portal, and kind of like open the doors, and you'd see it's pretty crowded. And would start leading you over to a table. And I feel like as he's going to introduce you to some people, this is a good place to call it a night.
Oh yeah.
This is
like
also about where Heidi should be joining us again.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Oh my god, I love the change in the mirror.
Hell yeah. Heidi's currently under the impression that she's not going to be joining us next week, but the week after. So.
Yeah, I said that because I thought you were gonna take much longer through this last part, so I'll message her.
I mean, yeah, we didn't end up going through with our plan of going back and attacking the other caravan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest. If the girl, oh fuck, what was her name? Silver or something? Gleam.
Flariel? Oh, Gleam
Yeah.
Silver. Gemna.
Gemna.
Yeah, Gemna. If she wasn't like forthright with information, Haskell was literally going to pounce on her and rip her throat out.
Damn.
Because his reasoning was if we didn't cooperate, she might oust us to the cultists.
Yeah, which was what Z had implied when he said having more allies will make it harder to keep a low profile.
So Haskell was going to straight up murder her.
Jesus. Are we done for the night, guys?
Yes.
All right, good.
I'm good.
All right, then by stream, I guess. By stream.
Bye, stream.
That's right.
Bye.
Come on.